Hey, Mr. Sherman here, and going to be making a Space Invader style app this time. So I like this one a lot to do after the Germ Fighter, after the Brick Breaker, because in a lot of ways it again just builds on the same concepts. So let's just get started. So I always make my screen size. I'm just going to do. I'm actually going to do tablet size for now. Phone size is way too small. Tablet size usually works pretty good. So I'm going to start off with the same as last time, a canvas. And I always first put center everything out. Then I'm going to set the canvas's height and width to fill parent. So boom, fill parent for both of these. Boom, boom. And since we're going to be in space, let's set our background to be, I always feel like black's too dark. So we'll do black for now. So boom. And let's give ourselves a character. And I got both of these guys off opengameDevArt.org. Open Game Art, something like that. I'll link it in the description below. But one image sprite, let's set his picture. This is going to be the good guy, so he's blue. And why can't I see him? Sometimes if weird things happen, just zero these out. Boom, boom. And see, yeah, black is too dark. So let's do dark gray is a bit better. And I'm going to name this player ship. Make sure you name things. It makes life so much easier. And I actually think he's a little too small. So I'm going to make him a little bigger. Boom. And let's give ourselves an enemy ship as well. Enemy ship. And I'm just going to call enemy ship 1 for now because we will have multiple. And I'm going to do the same. He looks bigger. But I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to make him a little bigger. Boom. I like that. Boom. Boom. And so player ship, enemy ship. And let's give ourselves a few buttons. So up at the top, I'm going to give myself at least a start button. I always make my start buttons green. Make it say start. And I hate all that white space. So let's go ahead. Boom. I'm going to make this my pause button. It's going to be orange. Pause. And I'm going to make this one my restart button. Red. Restart. And I just Control C, Control V on these to copy and paste them and just change the things I want. Boom, boom, boom. Start, pause, restart. I might later on add in like score, lives, and all that up there. I'm not going to do that yet. What I will need at the bottom, though, is a fire button. This is going to be how we're going to end up launching a projectile. So my fire button, I'm going to make it red. It's going to say fire. Boom. Why'd that not? Doesn't look bold to me. Can I just make the font bigger? There we go. That's better. Cool. And let's make sure we move my player ship up now because now I can't see him. Moved him the wrong direction. Boom. All right. Cool. So start button, pause button, restart, fire button, and 2 image sprites. That's all we've done. And I'm just going to go ahead and I want to say when I drag my player ship, I want to move my player ship. And as I always say, you can do current X and you can do start. I grab the right blocks, and you can do start Y. But I personally think this works better, and I like to do that. So when I drag my ship, I can move it side to side. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to say when I click fire, I want to launch a projectile. and we need to give ourselves something to be a projectile. I just use the ball for now. So I'm going to have a ball, and I'm going to make our projectiles green because I think that's cool. I'm just going to leave it as 5, I guess. Boom. And I'm going to rename this player projectile. So we're just going to have one projectile for now, and I'm going to show us how we can set it up to have multiple. So I'm actually going to call this player projectile 1 because we're going to have multiple in just a bit. So when I click fire, if you think about it, I need to move the player projectile to where my player ship is. So to my player, I need to move its X to the player ship X, and I need to move its Y to the player ship Y. So when I click fire, move it to the X, move it to the Y. Well, let's also make sure we're telling it go up. And I always forget, so I have to hover over here and read, and 0 degrees to the right, and 90 degrees is to up. So go 90 degrees, and I just want it to go slow for now. So we're going to give it a speed of something slow. I'm just going to say like 5 for now. Boom. So we can move side to side. We can launch a projectile. Nothing else is happening. That's not a very good game. So if we want to do Space Invaders, I want my enemy ship to go boom, hit the wall, move down a little bit, go back, boom, 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 boom. So we're going to baby step our way up. When I click start, I want it to just go this direction. So I'm going to find my start button. And I'm going to say, when I click it, let's give my enemy ship a heading. We got to tell it the direction to go. Not 90 this time, though, but 0. And we also got to tell it how fast to go. And I'm just going to go 10 for... no, I can't go faster than my projectile, so 5 for now. I have no idea if these speeds are good or not. Doesn't matter. You can change it as you go. 5 might be terrible for both of these. So that will make our enemy ship start going when we click start. It's going to hit the wall and just stay there, though. So if you click start, your enemy is going to start going, hit the wall, and just stay there. That's it. Same thing with our projectile, by the way. When we click fire, our projectile is going to go up, hit the top of the wall, and just stay there. So let's handle both of those real quick. So the first one is the player projectile. We can just say when our player projectile reaches the edge, I don't want it to be active anymore. I want enabled to be false, and I want visible to be false. And now let's say, figure out what happens when our enemy reaches the edge. And this one's actually going to be pretty easy. You can do all sorts of fancy stuff with calculating the heading and all that. But since we're just going straight to the side, we can simply tell it to just bounce off the edge. So now our player projectile, if we go up and hit the top of the screen, it'll disappear. Our enemy, if we hit the side of the wall, it will bounce off of it and start going side to side. Since we're making our projectile disappear, let's make sure every time we click fire, we're bringing it back. So now, every time we click fire, enable the projectile, make it visible, move it to where the player's ship is, give it a heading, give it a speed, and that's it. When it reaches the edge, destroy it. When the enemy reaches the edge, bounce off. I want to do 2 more things, and then I want to hop over to then I'm going to end the video. So 2 more things, I think. I first want to say what's going to happen when my projectile collides with something. And then I also want to make sure our enemy is moving down when it hits the wall. So when our enemy hits the wall, it's going to bounce off. But I want it to hit the wall, move down, bounce off. Just like a Space Invaders style game. So if you think about it, every time we hit the wall, we don't need to change the enemy's X. We only need to change the enemy's Y. So what I can say is I'm going to tell the enemy ship to move to, and again, I'm going to keep its X. I just want to add on to the Y just a little bit. So we're going to say move its Y to whatever its Y currently is. And I'm going to say +5. So now it's going to hit the wall, move down slightly, keep going. Boom. So now let's set up what happens when our projectile collides with something. So if you watch my Brick Baker video, it's going to be very similar. We're first going to have to check what's the thing we hit. And how you can reference it is with this other block. So if you think about it, if my for this block to be called, for this block to be activated, the player projectile needs to hit something. Well, what's the other thing I hit? Other. So all I need to say is if other was the enemy ship, nope, not going to grab these ones. Simply just tell the enemy ship to no longer be enabled and no longer be visible. Boom, boom. And while we have time, we can do quick pause and restart. Pause and restart at this point is pretty easy. So we'll just say when I click pause, set my enemy speed to 0. Oh, yeah, we'll leave that for now. We'll make it better later. And when I click restart, I probably need to bring the enemy back and move it to its starting location. What's its starting location? For now, we're going to say 80 for the X, 5 for the Y. So that will be good for now. $80 for the X, 5 for the Y. All right, so let's test this out. Hope this works. Hope this makes sense. See you in the next one.